Hey everyone, this is Jason and Joe from Miss Vintage. You're watching Storytellers. This song's called Temporary Like Me.
This,
Alright, hello everyone again. As you can tell, we are in a new location now. A little bit more comfortable, I would say.
Very comfortable.
Yeah.
We couldn't afford a couch last.
Yeah. This is nice. And we got painting in the back, which is really cool. And yeah, so you're going to be seeing a lot more of this couch in the weeks to come. And I'm very excited to say that we're about halfway through this video blog series. And so thank you for sticking with us. And there are a few more songs left to be heard, which we hope you will enjoy. Today we're going to talk about a song that is probably very familiar to a lot of our listeners. It's a song called Temporary Like Me. And if you've come out to a live show recently, you know that this is a song that we as a band love to close with. The story behind the song is really interesting, and it's funny because it's probably one of the favorites, if not the favorite, of a lot of our songs. But most people, I would say 99% of the people who listen to the song have no idea what the song is about, and that's what we're gonna do today. Talk about that song. So, the song has a really interesting story behind it, and it wasn't always our favorite song to play as a band, and it's only actually become our set closer very recently. Actually, if you think about it. Let's see. Joe wrote the song right when our band kind of started. This was about 2 years ago, and we were out in California doing our first kind of West Coast tour. It was like 2 shows, and we had like 3 songs written. So we were stressing out because we needed to write a song because our set was too short, and so I distinctly remember us kind of lounging around, and Joe came up to me and he said, "Hey Jace, I was taking a dump this morning, and I wrote these words."
I don't want to be too much information.
Okay, I'm sorry, but that really happened.
It really happened.
It did really happen. It's a pretty heavy song to write while taking a deuce, if you ask me. But it was written in there, and that's where Joe gets his inspiration.
Whoa.
From the porcelain. But anyways, yeah. So and I distinctly remember Joe played kind of he didn't really have a melody. He had words and maybe very he just played some chords for us. And I remember all the rest of the band kind of looking at each other saying, "That's really pretty, Joe."
It was unusable.
But yeah. I mean, it was kind of there wasn't really a verse. There wasn't really a memorable chorus, even a guitar hook. There was nothing really standard about it, and it was just kind of these chords, and it was just kind of this free-flowing musical thought. And I remember all of us kind of thinking, all right, let's move on to the next song. This isn't gonna be a Miss Vintage song. It's a really nice song, Joe, but let's move on with it. But I remember a few hours later, we're still lounging around trying to think about a song that we could write, and Joe starts playing his guitar, and he starts playing this it's just this short instrumental riff, and it's these 4 chords, and he's just kind of playing it in the background, and all of a sudden Colin, our bassist, he says, "Joe, keep playing that," and he turns on his bass amp, and he starts playing along with him, just a really simple bass line, I pick up my guitar, I start playing along with him. Then Brian sits on the drums, and he just lays down this really simple beat. But I remember all of us kind of staring at each other, thinking, this is gonna be the song. But it was interesting because even when we started playing it at a few shows, but I can say that we never really captured the magic that we had when we first started playing the tag. We never really captured that again. And so I think that caused us to kind of shy away from the song. So we kind of shelved the song for a good year, I would say. We never played it at a live show. And even when we did, we would never dare close with it. It was always maybe the third to last song in the set. But I think it was actually maybe almost exactly a year after we first introduced the song that we were back in California. It's kind of interesting in that sense. We were back in California. We were playing a show, and we played that song together. And I think not only for the band, but even for people watching us that night, there was something, that magic kind of happened again, I think. All of us felt it, and Brian, our drummer, he'll say that that experience was almost, what do you call it? It took him to a third heaven, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? What's the second heaven? Okay. It was a supernatural experience, basically, and so it was kind of at that show that the song was reborn, I think, and then it kind of became the closer in our set because it was just so powerful, not only for us, but for our listeners as well. I mean, it's kind of taken this long process, but I think every time we play it, it's just really emotional and moving for all the guys. And I'll let Joe talk more about kind of the meat behind some of the lyrics.